What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another round of the Casual Experts Podcast. I'm Mike Theory. Today we got a special guest, pro fighter, commentator, and just days away from throwing hands for the Misfits Middleweight Women's World Title, Pearl Gonzalez. What's going on?
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for fitting me in your schedule. I know you're about to leave soon, so appreciate it.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Man, so what? You're just what 2 weeks out from the fight, couple of days from flying out. What's the what's the vibe right now? Calm storm, controlled chaos. Like, what you feeling?
Man, it's been one hell of a camp. I'm 9 days out from the fight. I leave in a few days. I'm actually in LA now, and I've got 2 more days left here in LA training, and then I'll go back to San Diego, which is where I'll fly out to Dubai. And I have had such a crazy camp here at Knockouts Boxing Facility with Manny Robles and his team. And it's been a hell of a fight camp for me. This is very new to me. I come from an MMA background, an MMA gym. So being here has been such a very interesting challenge to say the least. And it's been so fun. I think I'm excited. I'm excited to showcase my skills, showcase where I'm at. I think mentally, spiritually, I'm in such a sound place. I've isolated myself specifically for the last 5 weeks from everybody, and it's just been pure focus, pure training, and work and recovery. And so I'm excited to showcase my skills and just where I'm at mentally right now.
Yeah, that's dope. And being from like the MMA background, but you've also fought like in bare knuckle boxing. Am I correct?
Yes, I fought
Yeah.
bare knuckle. I do
No.
have a couple pro boxing fights as well. But this is like my first boxing gym camp that I've
Okay.
ever been to.
So, because you were signed to Game Bread, right? You did stuff with Game Bread boxing, and so how was what's the biggest differences, or like what's been like the toughest transition into like actually like this is like, so that you're saying this year your full what your first full camp in just a boxing gym. It's like what's the differences like that you've seen or that you kind of struggled with or
Oh my goodness. So everybody here, so I think coming into this gym and feeling like the least skilled is has been super challenging. And I've been fighting and training most of my life. And so to come inside of a gym where everybody is just so talented. I mean, they have so many great fighters in this gym and women in this gym that have been training just boxing for 10 plus years. So I think coming into that and like as an MMA fighter, I've been working this year on my black belt. So I've been really primarily focused on jujitsu. And so to come in and like work with these athletes that have so much experience as in boxing has been really, really crazy. The running, the conditioning here, I mean, this gym is incredible. We're up at 5 a.m., we're running at 7 a.m. We're all working together as a team. And I think like the endurance here and being able to maintain power and your strikes, your boxing specifically, your punches throughout a full fight has been very, very challenging and really exciting and fun to work on.
and just being with in Manny Robles' gym, he has like Mizuki's there and uh Babyface Assassin, and I know you have a relationship with them because of 360 and commentating their fights. Has that been like a making it an easier transition, like working it alongside them or in the gym with them?
It's been amazing to watch them. They are such an inspiration. I came in right at the end of their fight camp for their last fight for 360. And actually, Mike Styles over at 360 Boxing now and Zuffa, he's who set this up for me. And
Okay.
my team back in San Diego is who, we came together as a team and we all thought this was the best opportunity for me to gain these skills and show up for my fight next week in the best way possible was to come out here and so my team back home and my coaches, they all helped me get out here. And yeah, it kind of sent me on my way. And yeah, when I first came in here, Mizuki, Lupita, and Right Hook Roxy, we're all fighting on 360. And so I got to be here alongside them for the last week and a half of their camp and to watch them train and just to see see them, it was so inspiring to work alongside them. And my main partner that I worked with was Perla, and she's
Okay.
incredible. She's been amazing to work with, and it's just been so cool, man. It's been such a cool ride.
That's man, that's dope. And shout out to Mike. Mike's super dope. He's always man. He's just dope all around. He's always willing to help out and stuff. So shout out to Mike.
Yes, big shout out to him. He really does care about the athletes and the sport. And he was like, Pearl, this is where you got to go. This is an incredible opportunity. You got to go work with Manny. And so, yeah, it's been amazing. I've been working, that's for sure.
That's dope, man. And then you're headed to Dubai, right? No, be real.
hmm
What's the first thing you're gonna do when you land?
The first thing I'm gonna do when I land, I think I need to just get kind of situated, obviously.
Yeah.
But as soon as I weigh in, I want some chocolate. I definitely want some chocolate. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm getting in kind of late. I've got 4 days to acclimate and finish my weight cut. And so I'm excited. There's gonna be some like content that's gonna be done. So I gotta go out, maybe do some TikToks or something fun. And it's fight week now. I've put in so much work. Now I get to have a little fun and enjoy all of the work.
Yeah, so get some Dubai chocolate in actual Dubai instead of buying it from the store out here. Should taste a little bit better, no?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping. I saw some of their plates too. Like I was like, man, do I want to try camel or something? I don't know. It
Oh,
sounds a little. That sounds. I don't know, but maybe we'll see what happens.
hey, it'll make good content. Trying camel out there.
And this
Yeah,
is, I think, for Misfits, right? I've been so serious in the training in the camp, but Misfits, that's an influencer league, and
yeah,
for as much as I have been, on social media for most of my career, I'm like, I feel a little intimidated because they are professional influencers. So I'm looking forward to like getting to collaborate and meet all these influencers and hopefully learn some stuff from them as well while I'm out there on the influencing side.
So what's exciting you more, like the opponent, the platform, or the location?
Man, when the location is amazing, right? To travel somewhere I've never been to, an amazing city and country like Dubai, incredible. But me going to war, there is no better place to be under the lights and in a fight. It's the most sacred yet scariest place in the world. All the work that I've put in the gym, the focus, the discipline, the sacrifices that are made, me going to war, there's nothing like that. And this year have been so focused on my commentary and focused on the analyst side of the sport. To go in there and do this again is a blessing. I am looking forward to going in, and I've got a tough opponent in front of me. um Tai Emery she hits really hard. She's a very tough girl. She's coming to hurt me. That
Yeah.
excites me, man. I can't wait to get inside there and just go to work and go to war.
And speaking of your opponent, what makes this matchup interesting to you? I know you had mentioned a couple things already that she hits hard and she's coming to fight, but like what's when you're in the gym training and you're getting ready for that, what makes this match interesting to you?
I think it's how aggressive she is. She's very aggressive. She's going to come forward. She's going to come and try to hurt me. And I think that aggressiveness is what really wakes me up and fires me up because I know she's coming for me.
Yeah.
She's not going to run around, and she's not scared to get hit. She's not scared to go to war. That I love those kind of fights. I love women that come in to challenge and believe that they can beat me and are going to do everything they can possibly to do that. And man, to rise to the occasion in those moments, there is nothing like that.
Do you feel like she might be maybe overlooking you because of like you've been so focused on commentary and you haven't fought in a while? Do you have that kind of feeling going into this?
I'm not sure. And to be honest, this camp wasn't even really about her. This fight is not about her. This fight is for me. I think so. Several years ago, my dad is who got me into fighting. He raised me as a single father, and he passed away. And on his last breath, I told him that I would use the pain of him passing and him leaving to become a world champion.
Mm.
And I went after it a couple times and I fell short. I failed. And this fight came out of nowhere. And a week before I got the call for this, I was in the gym training, and I came in San Diego, and I told my coach, I was like, man, I just have this feeling like, what if I'm fighting for a world title or something? And he looked at me, he's like, calm down, bro. Like, calm down. It's, you just started running again. You just started training again. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know. I just have that feeling is what I felt when I was running that morning. And then the next week I got, and actually as I got the phone call, I was sitting and I was like, man, I know that I have 2 shows left this year. I don't quite know what my next year is looking like for commentary. And I was praying in the moment. I was like, God, please just give me an opportunity for something, please. And at that moment I got a text with her fighter profile. And I instantly, I knew what that was. That was a fight.
Yeah.
And so I was like, shit, God answered me, man. It was really cool. And yeah, and that was all I needed. I knew who she was. I've seen her fight for bare knuckle. She's fought two of the same girls that I have fought. And so I never thought I would fight her. I never imagined, because I had no desire to fight for bare knuckle anymore. But
Yeah.
this fight, this fight showing up, and then to add on that world title to this, it made it everything. It made me wake up every morning and do all this work. And I get the opportunity not only to go back inside and be a fighter myself, but I get an opportunity to do what I said I would, to keep my promise to my dad. And I think that it's a blessing.
Yeah. That's that's something special. I some similar something similar. I lost my mom, and then two, like I already had a tour booked to go perform, and I had lost my mom, and I almost canceled the tour. But I remember, like I everybody telling me not to cancel it just because of that. My mom was always at my shows. She was front row at the shows, and
Mm.
so I ended up going on the tour, and it was the best thing. My tour
Oh
mate
my
at the time,
goodness.
my tour had just lost his dad, so we were both on tour together. Had just lost our parents and went on tour, and like kind of formed a bond. Like it was so I get exactly what you what you're feeling,
Hmm.
and what I only can imagine, like how much effort and training you put into this because of that,
Yes.
having that in your heart and having that in your mind. And it's, man, it's crazy and it's
It's
intense. And
special.
yeah, it's super intense as well. The feelings, the emotions and the feelings and all that going in. It's super intense, and I can imagine in the gym having those feelings making you pushing you a lot harder.
Yes, they are. And that's when I wake up and I think about who I want to be, every day, I pray that I can be who I say I am going to be: disciplined,
Yeah,
focused, whether it's for a fight or for my commentary. I take my commentary just as seriously as I take fighting. It's an important job for me. And so this is what I get the opportunity every day to show up as the woman I say I'm going to be. And next week I get to go and go after it and showcase who I am. And I love that feeling.
yeah. Is there a part of your game like you're excited to show the fans, or even just show some of the fighters that you commentate for 360s, or something, like you're gonna go out there and like, and when you come back with the strap and kind of like, hey, like something you're there. How do I word it? I guess, yeah. Like, is there just a part of your game or something that you're just excited to show fans, your family, or even just some of the fighters from 360?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that working here alongside this gym, like I told you, has been life changing. Not just in the technical aspect of it and the boxing side of it, but in my character. I came out here. I have my RV here. I'm alone. I didn't know it. I knew the girls as a commentator for them, but I came by myself, and it has been a challenge, to say the least. And even the RV, dealing with the RV has been crazy. But I think, like, it's important for me, again, just to showcase who I say I am. And I give so much respect to fighters, and no, not many people understand what it takes to get inside of a ring. Like, sure, it's like it takes a lot of courage, and you have to overcome fear and the that feeling of uncertainty inside of a fight, right? Of getting hurt and all of these things. But the everyday work that you have to
Yeah,
show up, and you still have life challenges that you have to deal with regular life, but you have to come and show up every day tired, sore, beat up, losing rounds, and you just keep showing up. And I think that it's important for me to showcase that mostly to myself. I have little nieces back home that are really, they inspire me to showcase that for them, that hard work, and they've been through all of my fights. They've seen me win, they've seen me lose, and immediately, whatever fight, whether the outcome was a win or a loss, I've sat down with them and they've been in the back with me bleeding, getting stitched up, and I've had the conversation. Life is not fair. Like, this is
Yeah.
real. This is life. And nothing, regardless of the outcome, no one can take away the progress that was made, the character that I've built and developed through this, the
Hmm.
progress in myself, the confidence. No one can take that. She can't take that from me, you know? And so I think for me, it's important just to showcase that no, this a fight is real life. Sometimes you win,
Yeah.
sometimes you build character. What's important is you just keep showing up and you never give up on yourself.
I like that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Now, I swear, every fighter they've had that one moment that made them say like, yeah, I'm built for this. What was yours, especially coming from like a MMA background? Like, what was that moment where you're like, yeah, I'm built for this life?
Ooh, there was a lot of those. I think I think like going in originally when I signed to Bare Knuckle, I had the opportunity to work with Amanda Serrano, and I went and worked with her for a week. And I loved the training. I loved her atmosphere. I loved her coach. I loved her. And it took intent, and I went there and I trained, and man, she beat me up so bad. I never got hit like that before. And I was like, can I move here and train with you? And she looked at me like I was crazy, and it just kept coming back. So 10 days later, I packed up my place in San Diego and I moved to Brooklyn, and I stood there for a year and a half and I trained with her. And I think
Damn.
like them telling me no girl has ever continued to show up like this. Like, she hits so hard, she beats them up. They don't usually come back to train. And so for me to hear that from them, I think is really like, man, I'm built for this. And even
Yeah.
inside this gym and being with Manny Robles and Coach Edgar and Manny Jr., and they were like, you're such a hard worker, you're such, and that is who I am. I really pride myself in my
That's dope.
work. You might be better than me that night, but you'll never outwork me.
Hmm.
And that's always been my mindset, to be one of the hardest workers. And so I think those moments were really like, yeah, I'm built for this. I am built for
Yeah.
this. And reality is I've been a fighter my whole life. I come from the hood of Chicago. I wasn't supposed to make it out the hood, and here I am now in LA, been to Brooklyn to train, been to Thailand to train, been all over the world for fighting, with just a dream, and you kind of, your life will come to you, and God and opportunities just kind of unfold for you in ways, if you're persistent and you're consistent and you're humble
Hmm.
and you're true to yourself. And so I think those are a lot of the things that have shown me that I am a fighter, and I'm made for this.
Yeah, that's dope. Just being able to go out there and train with Amanda Serrano, like that's one of the greatest women fighters of all time. And then just having the guts to like, hey, you know what? I like I like learning. I like getting beat up because I'm learning from her. And so you know what? I'm just gonna pack myself up. I'm gonna move out there. Like
Yes.
that's dope. That takes guts, and it shows the drive of like wanting to learn. Because if you go to the gym and yeah, you're the one beating everybody up, you're not learning.
Right.
You're they're learning because they're getting beat up, and they're learning how to fight against you, and they're learning different techniques they can use to counter whatever you're doing to them. But if you're the best in the gym, you're not really learning, so you have to go places and train with different partners, and that's why you have different sparring partners and stuff like that, right? To be able to work on certain things that you might not be good at. And
Exactly.
what's the biggest thing you had to like unlearn to grow?
I think the biggest thing was simplicity in life, especially as you grow in your social media and you grow in popularity, and you grow in your career, and you find success and you reach, pinnacles in your life. Um, you can get a little arrogant and really cocky at times in life. And I think remaining humble and simplifying my life. And I think that was a big lesson I learned with Amanda. Amanda didn't had never had a cell phone, never had a
Mm,
boyfriend, didn't have friends, never even spent a night at her friend's house. Like, she was so focused on boxing from 12 years old or 11 years old till today, till she's still the same way. and to really like close your circle and eliminate distractions and be able to go to the gym every single day and work hard and then come home and you sit in silence, or you sit in, your little bubble, and you don't leave that, and it's the pressure's on you, and you want to escape it, you want to go have some fun, you want to take your mind off of it, but to sit in the mundane every single day and
Hmm.
have the patience to allow for the skills to develop, to allow for the things to come together that you're working on. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes years, it takes
Yeah.
months, for that. And I think that for me that was really really difficult, because I want to go home, I want to see my family, I want to enjoy a
Yeah.
good meal, I want to go out and have a good time, and it's not that. And so like this camp, like I said, I isolated myself completely. I lived inside the gym, and then I came home into my RV, and I was in bed by 7 p.m. and resting and recovering and preparing myself for the next day. And it's been that way here in LA for 5 weeks. And prior to that, I was training at my home gym in San Diego for an additional 4 weeks, preparing to go to come here. And so, I think it's a beautiful, very beautiful place. It's a safe place for me. I'm in a very peaceful, quiet place. And next week I got to come out my bubble, right? And I've got to be
Yeah.
around all these streamers, and I've got to be around the cameras
Yeah.
and do my thing. And so it's a little, I wouldn't say it's scary, but it's like, shit, man, I created this perfect space
Yeah.
for myself, a sanctuary, and now I've got to leave it and trust in myself and trust in my skills that I can continue to keep that
Yeah.
distractions and those out of the way, because regardless of all the smoke and the lights and the people, this girl's coming at me, and it's just
Yeah.
her and I inside that ring. And it's the same as it is in the gym, so you've got to, I think for me it was a really allowing myself to be focused.
For sure. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things that people don't talk about when it comes to like combat sports or even um, athletes in general is the mental aspect of what you're doing. Like you saying, you creating your own bubble, and now you feel comfortable. You have your routine. You're going to Dubai. It's going to
Yes.
be chaos. Now the mental aspect is trying to maintain what you created during your training camp in that chaos, and
Yes.
that's the big thing, and that's where people tend to lose themselves. Is the fight before the fight, getting out of
Right.
losing your train of thought, losing you're at peace inside. Like so, that's like the one of the big things. And do you have certain things that you do like before a fight or after a fight or before you get to the arena that helps keep you in that mental space?
Yeah, in this camp actually, my coach from San Diego, he hooked me up with this guy Daniel, who is a mental coach. He actually works with like the Marines, and he works on like the sharpshooters, and preparing them mentally for that. And so I had a lot of sessions with him throughout this, and developing, like a playlist has been a thing for me,
Mm-hmm.
where I have a playlist that puts me in a good place. And I like a couple hours before I go to the arena for a fight, to just to myself, where I can listen to my music, I get in my zone, and prepare myself for that chaos, because there's going to be, there's the people, there's the lights. And what's interesting in a fight is like everybody seems to be like in a rush, like they're like, hurry up, come on, and hurry up, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
okay, okay. And even like to the point where they're telling you when it's time to walk out, come on now, it's your
Yeah.
turn to walk out, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, okay. And to remain calm in that place, so
Yeah.
I'd like to take a couple hours before I go to that, to ground myself, to plant my
Mm-hmm.
feet. I pray to the creator, I pray to my ancestors,
Yeah.
then it's just time to go to war. And then you just flip the switch, and now I'm in war mode. Now I'm here. I'm here to eat. I'm willing to
Yeah.
die in here, and that's the mentality you've got to have, is that calm chaos, and
Yeah.
cool and collected under that pressure.
Yeah, because you hear a lot of stories where like they try to stall fighters out. So it's like they harry them up to get to the arena, and then they stall them in the back to like, and then so by the time they get out to the ring, they're mentally exhausted, and if you've heard stories about this all the time, even in basketball, or like when the Lakers would go to Boston, they turn the heat on in the locker rooms, or they do like it's all the mental warfare, and like and that's why a lot of fighters, you have like the Conor McGregors out there talking all their shit, right? it's trying to get into their heads. So all this stuff, and that's why I got bring it. That's why I brought it up is the mental aspect of the game is because you tend to get out of character sometimes when things are not going your way. So like that's like where I wanted to get your perspective on what do you do to calm, because once you get to the arena, it's everybody's going to be trying to get to you, talk to you. Got to wrap your hands. If they come in and they don't like the way they're wrapping your hands, they might make you do it over again. All those little nuances that people use to get into a fighter's head. And so like the whole thing with the marine sniper, or he used to train marine snipers, and teaching you how to headspace, especially with the sniper, they lay there forever. They can
Hmm.
move. It takes a minute, maybe longer to or hours to move a couple inches. There's stories. I was in the Marines, so there's like certain things like that we've done to just mess with your head, like our training and how to stay calm under pressure, especially like overseas. So I get it, and that's one thing I wanted to talk just to touch on is have you heard stories? Have you seen stuff like that where trainers or promoters are messing, playing games with the other fighter to stall them out, maybe?
I haven't seen it on the promotional side of it. I think that I've seen it inside the fight, right? I've watched fights and I study fight, especially as a commentator now. I study the
Yeah,
fighters and the fights and seeing it firsthand, you can see it. All is fair in war. In
yeah,
reality, all is fair. And so you can see them unravel a fighter by mentally, even if it's just talking shit or the way they're putting their body on you. The coaches understand this game. There's a mind game for the coaches where they're
mhm,
coaching you, but they're really coaching
yeah,
you to get into the fighter's head. And so as a fighter, you have to understand like all is fair in war, and you're gonna get frustrated in there. That's
yeah,
that's the challenge. And I think that I had a conversation with Dana White once a couple years ago, and it stuck with me, and I keep it with me every day. And he was like, "I fucking love challenge. I love problems
mhm,
because that gives me an opportunity to find the solution, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm gonna find the solution." And when he had that conversation with me, that stuck with me, and that's how I look at challenge. Is like I love
yeah,
challenge. I love being frustrated. I love having to deal with something because I have to figure out the solution. And I think the mindset and understanding that a fight is a fight. It's
mhm,
not clean like it is in sparring. It's not clean when you're in your gym and you have everybody protecting you. Like it's you, your opponent, and the ref. And so
yeah,
to understand that all is fair in war and also appreciate the challenge that's in front of you, appreciate what's happening in that moment and just be like, focus. I'm like, fuck,
yeah.
hell yeah, let's go. And I think for me, that's helped me the most.
That's dope. Now, we had touched on the commentating, the analysis side of things. So, like, what do you think's tougher, like taking punches or staying unbiased on commentary?
It's 100% taking punches. To get hit right in the moment, every time you get
Yeah.
hit, you got to reset. You got to reset
Hmm.
mentally. And I think as a commentator, you're watching, and I do always do my best to stay unbiased because I give the respect. I have to give the respect to every fighter. There is no A or B side to me. These are
Yeah.
athletes. These are real fighters. They've given everything to get inside of there, and their life is on the line in that moment in that fight. And so for me, I can just watch as a fan and watch the movements and try to give you, tell that story for you. But when it's happening to you, you're getting hit, you've got to reset. You can't get frustrated. You can't see out of your eye. You're
Yeah.
fucking drooling and snot's flying everywhere, blood, and you've got to lock in and stay locked in. It's 100% getting hit. 100%.
Do you ever watch fighters and we're like, I would have never let that punch land on me?
Sometimes, but I humble myself because I like to say when I'm like, well, they should do this or I always humble myself in that moment and say, but it's easy for me to say because I'm out here
Yeah.
because there is in a fight, right? We see what's happening. But
Hmm.
in as a fighter inside of the ring, there is so much unspoken communication that is
Yeah.
happening that you don't understand as you're watching. You can only feel that energy.
Yeah.
And most of that fight is you're not talking. There is no communication. It's all through body language. And
Hmm.
so there are things that that fighter can see or feel that I necessarily can. I'm just watching and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, why is he doing that? But he's feeling and
Hmm.
he knows what he's going through in that moment. And so I've humbled myself in that way for sure.
Yeah, it's because we also have a bigger view. We see the whole picture, and when you're fighting, you see it's more of like a tunnel. You see like what's right in front of you. That's why a lot of times when they're throwing those looping punches, it's hard to see those because
Yes.
you're not really like looking on your peripheral too much. So I get it, but you're sitting there watching. You're like, whoa, what the hell is going? I get it. I do it all
And
the time,
even
yelling
like
at the TV. Uh-huh.
even at the like even the posture that they have,
Yeah,
right? Like it looks
yeah,
regular to you, but they can they're I don't know if you've ever felt someone in front of you that they just feel like they're an unmovable mountain. And they're
yeah,
not touching you, they're not talking, but their presence is so strong. Their will is so strong that you're like, "Holy shit, like I'm taken back
yeah,
by that." You can easily get discouraged by that. And so those are, those are those things I talk about like that's that unspoken
yeah,
language that nobody
yeah.
understands.
That's the whole thing with the mental. You can tire a fighter out by just flinching
Hmm.
and making them guess. So you're making
Hmm.
them use their mind so much that it's gonna mess with their nervous system, and then they eventually start to get exhausted because you're fainting. All the feints you're throwing at them is making them think, and then so that's the whole mental aspect of the whole game too. That's like I'm really intrigued with the mental aspect of things just because of coming from the Marines and then coming back home. And I had to deal with a lot of stuff, and I worked on my mind a lot, and that's what I try to teach my son as well. Um, Things come easy to my son, so when things get hard for him, he gets frustrated, and I try not to let that slide. You got to work through the problem. That's when you're gonna feel the best when something is
Yeah.
so difficult that you can't figure it out, and then when you finally do, everything else opens up.
Yeah.
Like you start to see things differently. You start to see things that weren't necessarily there before, but now you're able to see them because you're so fixated on this one point. And once you're
Right.
able to break through that one point, everything else opens up.
Exactly. And that is like, I think that's the beauty of being inside of a fight, right? Is like you're getting hit, and you've gotta adjust. You've got to adjust
Yeah.
in that moment. And sometimes you make the right decision and sometimes you make the wrong decision. And then you've got to adjust again and you've got to
Yeah.
adjust. I like to consider a fight like a car accident, right before you get into a car accident, so you either move, you hit your brake, you've got a second to make a decision. And I
Yeah.
feel like that is what a fight is similar to, is like every, in those moments, you got to make decisions and adjust. And Kobe, like you said, have amnesia. You've got to forget about the decision you just made and focus on the decision that needs to be made right now. It's
Exactly.
it's intriguing. It is. It's really cool.
No, for sure. Now, you've been in this game long enough, you've seen the culture shift. What feels different now?
Ugh. Man, I think that the popularity has grown tremendously, especially as I am coming up, and even at this point, I think that boxing is in an incredible place. I think that the platform Misfits is providing for influencers to box and to compete. Is We didn't have this before. This whole like streaming and the whole like online and social media thing is so new, and the entertainment side I think is really intriguing. I think
Hmm.
a lot of fighters, they no matter what, you have to focus on the technique. You have to focus on the skill. That's what's going to take you as a fighter. But on this platform, it's also the influencer side, and the entertainment side of it. And I think that has really shifted tremendously for athletes, is that mindset of not just being a fighter but being an entertainer.
Yeah. Imagine if during the Showtime era or HBO era, if those guys had like a podcast back then,
Oh
like
my God, it'd be amazing.
it would be amazing, right? Like it's so like the way everything's going now is just it's pretty cool to see and like kind of be a part of that as well. Like and just see you're able, just get more people talking about the sport, and you just see different points of views, and you don't agree with everything that's out there, but it's just cool to see.
Yes, absolutely. And even AI now, AI can pull up things that, you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
takes me hours to research and I can hit
yeah.
AI and it's 10 seconds. Like, oh my God, this is crazy.
I know it's pretty cool. It's also kind of scary, like man, it's but it's definitely something to look forward to, I guess. See where it
Yes.
goes, especially with the whole Zuffa boxing and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of talk about all that right now about what Dana White wanting to do and stuff like that. Do you see that as like something good? Because it's just another platform, right? It's something to give fighters something something else to choose. Wouldn't you say? I feel like the more options, the better, right?
Absolutely. The more options. And I think that everyone, has their opinion on Dana, and who he is as an individual, but no one can deny his success in combat sports and
Hmm.
sports, period.
Yeah,
He has become a leader in sports, past just fighting. And so with his knowledge, his team, the people that he has running them, their platforms, the UFC platform, who really can compare to that? That is they know it's proven success, and so I think bringing that to the boxing side is going to help. And also I love the idea that they're going to probably open up the performance institutes to the athletes, to boxers.
yeah,
That ability, if you've never been to the performance institute, it's incredible, state of the art training, the testing that they do there, the doctors that they have surgeons on hand, a community of that. Like, I don't know if boxing has had that before, that
no,
kind of training. And so what will that do for the fighters, and I know for MMA, I can speak what it was 10 years ago to what an MMA fighter is today. You are a complete athlete.
yeah,
You have to be an incredible athlete, the highest level athlete. And so I think opening up that alone for boxers to have that ability to train
yeah.
and learn about their bodies and the scientific approach and the nutrition and all of that is going to be incredible. Then you add in their platform and their PR and their socials and that kind of thing. Like, man, it's going to be awesome. Aside from that, you think about, they're guaranteed certain amount of fights. The UFC fighters, they're guaranteed X amount of fights a year. If they don't get
Yeah,
those fights, they get a paycheck and they get paid. And they get opportunities to do different other collaborations with other people. And so I think bringing that onto the boxing side is going to be amazing. And if anything, it's going to help the other promoters. They'll rise to the
yeah,
occasion and will change the platform itself. So I think it's an amazing, amazing thing that's going to happen for boxing, for the athletes. I look at the athletes. That to me is the most
yeah.
important, is as a fighter, because I understand those struggles, coming
Especially
in
as a
and
young fighter.
not having money and not having
Yeah,
good direction. Or for me, I didn't come from a family of fighters. I'm the first one, and so a lot of this I've had to learn myself. And so to have an environment where they are these elite trainers and people, like, it's going to be so cool. And I hope
yeah,
that it will help the entire boxing community rise to the occasion and give that opportunity to the rest of the athletes.
yeah. Especially for young fighters, like young fighters coming up, they working two jobs, working a job and trying to train. You go to the PI, they have training there. They have help people to help you cut weight. So you're not spending, and that's to the fighters for free. You're signed to the UFC, you got to use it. So
Yes.
having a young fighter, a young boxer coming up, struggling on for recovery, for nutrition, for strength and conditioning, all that stuff. You go to the PI and you can have your training camp at the PI, and they're gonna help you cut weight. They're gonna help you recover. So it's like that's something that doesn't get talked about in this whole conversation that everybody's having about Zuffa and changing adding the extension to the Muhammad Ali Act and stuff like that. The way I kind of look at it is when you're in a fight, right, and you're like looking, and when somebody catches you and you get hit, and they shake it off, right? The comment it's always like, oh, when they shake it off, when they say something, that means they got hurt. So by having everybody talk bad about this, it means that there's actually maybe they are doing some Dana is doing something right, because I take that as like it's a punch, right, to their ecosystem of what the current boxing world has set in place. So by somebody coming and disrupting that a little bit or enhancing it, to them they feel like it's a disruption. Like you're gonna disrupt what we're doing. So it's kind of like getting that punch in the face and that didn't hurt. Like that
Yeah.
didn't hurt.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it. But I feel like it's good. The Misfits Boxing, it gives opportunities to people. You have what Dean the Great fighting Amado Vargas on that card as well. Like so, you're still getting quality fights on there. And it started from the influencer, like the KSIs and the Jake Pauls and stuff like that. But like, look what they're doing. They're building. Look what Jake Paul's building and doing for the women's sports. Look, Misfit, you're getting quality fights on these cars now. Yes, where it started from, it's a little funny, and it was like people kind of took it to like, oh, they're just YouTubers. But the growth, look at where it's grown to now. It's like, so I don't know. I'm here for all of it.
Yeah.
I'll be on my couch with my beer watching fights. Like that's
And it,
what,
and I think that people don't think about like when you look at these influencers, right? And you can say, oh, they're not real boxers, blah, 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 whatever. But their platforms, what eyes are they bringing
yeah,
to our sport that we don't have the ability to touch
yeah,
these viewers and these people and the fans and their, their own channels. Like they are bringing all new eyes and a whole new culture to our sport. We did not have that
yeah,
access. And Jake Paul too, Jake Paul's a great example of that. Look at what he's done, the eyes that he's brought onto boxing. I really believe he ignited the influencer and brought in,
yeah,
people where celebrities are like, oh, maybe I can do this. And I
yeah,
think that's great. And again, like you want to challenge yourself and put yourself in these insane challenges like a fight, even though you're an influencer, and try to test yourself in that way. And
yeah,
so I think like the eyes that are being brought onto the sport, the more eyes, the better. And what an amazing opportunity and what a brilliant idea to bring in streamers that have these platforms and
yeah.
bring in and introduce them to our sport, into combat sports. And you have to start somewhere, right? You
Hmm.
boxing didn't start off as great as it was. MMA didn't start off where it was today. You've
Yeah,
got to start somewhere. So that was the start, and they're evolving quickly. And it's, man, it's incredible. It's giving opportunities to fighters like me. It's giving
yeah,
opportunities to fighters like Amato to get on a card where Andrew Tate is the main event. Like
yeah,
the publicity that man gets, as the popularity that he has, I would never have access to that, but I get this opportunity, and so
yeah.
I love it. I'm here for it too.
Oh yeah, it's super cool because everything, everything when something first starts, and UFC boxing, UFC was banned in New York forever. They nobody wanted this because why? Because it's barbaric. You got people in there bleeding and just on the floor fighting. That's what all this talk. So anything that kind of starts somewhere where it has negative connotation to it, it's probably actually good for us. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
like everything starts with something bad, like it's not, and eventually it grows, and like and the whole YouTuber thing was like made fun of, and but look where it's at. Look where it's at now. Like it's evolving, and it's gonna take time to evolve. And just like the UFC is still brand new. Like it's only been around for what 30 years or something like that.
Yes.
Like the very people that started in UFC one are still alive. You can still talk
Yeah.
to these guys. And the person that started boxing, the very first boxing event, we can't talk to those guys no more.
Right.
So that's kind of where the Misfit Boxing and the Jake Paul, that's where that's that stage at. It's still brand new, it's still evolving, and you got to give these guys credit. They're influencers, right? They can be doing anything. They can still be behind streaming. They don't have, but them willing to go and fight somebody and go in the ring and be on live. Most of these guys probably never fought before. They're just learning. They're just starting to train. That's something all these people talking online will never do. So
Yes. Yes. And like some of these influencers, like the Misfits champion, I don't know, Jade is her first name. I don't know her last name, but like she's a ring card girl. And for women, I look at that like,
that's super
it's
cool.
challenging enough for women to be tough and strong and gritty, and to
Yeah,
be beautiful and feminine, and to have women like that are very beautiful and feminine come in and challenge themselves in a male dominated environment. And the gym is insane. So to have that polarity is really unique. And I think it's really inspiring for women too, to see these influencer women, these beautiful girls that have these big platforms come in and test themselves and showcase their evolvement and be strong and
Yeah,
courageous is it's amazing.
that's crazy. I didn't know that. She was a ring girl and then she's fighting.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's cool. Like that's
Yes.
if that's pretty cool. That kind of threw me off right now. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Uh, man, if everything goes your way, December 20th, what's next? More fights, more commentary, a victory vacation.
Oh man, Misfits World Champion is what's
Yeah.
next for me, and I signed a multi-fight deal with them, so this
Oh,
is
dope.
going to be a fun ride for me. I plan on fighting again. I loved it for as hard as this camp was. I love it. I'm kind of sad I have to leave it and leave and stop my progress right now and focus on a fight. But I just plan on getting back and this is my last ride, my last chapter, not my last fight, but my last chapter as a fighter. And I'm just gonna live it to the fullest, enjoy this, embrace these times, and then it when it's all said and done, I can hang up my gloves and I'm gonna commentate and become the greatest female sports commentator there is, and really help that side of the sport as well. And so I'm in this sport for life. There's nothing I'm more passionate about. So right now it's this fight, it's winning this belt, and then yes, I'm gonna go see my family. I'm gonna spend Christmas in Chicago for a couple days, and then hopefully just get right back to it. I've got shows planned next year for my commentary. That's a guaranteed. That is my next chapter is commentary and analyst work. But for now, I'm embracing being a fighter.
That's what's up. Now, what do you think is who you think is gonna have a breakout year in 2026, boxing or
Ooh.
MMA?
Ooh, I think that 2026 is a big year for women's boxing. I think Lupita Medina, world
Yeah,
champion. I think Right Hook Roxy, world champion. Mizuki Hiruta, I really hope she breaks out and gets mainstream and breaks into the mainstream because she's such
man,
an incredible champion.
she's so good. Like
She's so good.
she's so good, dude. Like it's ridiculous how good she is. Her movement, her angles, like she's so freaking good. I was at the last fight and just, oh man, she just put on the show.
Put on a show, and then like to watch her train and her athletic abilities, like, and how young she is in the sport, and how like just she's just an incredible athlete, and then her personality is so bubbly and fun. Like
Yeah,
I really I think it's going to be a big year for her. And then in MMA, I think that this is the move to Paramount for the UFC is going to be huge. It's going to give
yeah,
a whole new platform. And man, I hope Alex Pereira wins the third belt for the heavyweight title. So
man,
um, I just think it's going to be a great year for combat sports in general.
yeah, man. Alex Pereira, a heavyweight, is insane. It's insane.
He's big though.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
6'4".
No, I know he's big. It's just like, man, like being. I don't know how he made 185. Like it's just, but it's just insane to like think about it. Like he was at 185 and now he's gonna potentially can fight for the heavyweight championship. It's crazy. And
It's crazy.
if anybody can do it, he can do it.
That's what I said. If there's
Yeah,
anybody that can step into the unknown and accomplish what may seem impossible, it's
yeah,
gonna be him, his mindset. And also his sister, Aline Pereira, she's gonna get in the UFC. I think she's gonna have a breakout year too.
dope. Now, what's one thing you want five fans to understand about your journey right now?
Um, I think that I'm more of a pioneer, and my bigger, like, some of my fights may not be popular today. And so I just think I've been in this sport my entire life. I've dedicated my life to this. And I have so many layers of skills and knowledge in the sport. And um, I hope that showcases. I hope that people see that yes, I'm a fighter and I'm a lifelong martial artist, but I'm also really passionate about the sport and the growth of it is for the fighters too. I have a new purpose today. Today I'm a fighter, but my new purpose is to be a voice for the athletes, to be a voice for the fighters, and them to have the confidence and trust in me that I'm not here to put them down, to show that I know more. I'm truly a student of this game, and I just want to help them, share their story, tell their story. And that's what I hope that showcases is my passion and my love for this. There's nothing I'm more passionate about.
Yeah. So on that note, I appreciate your time. Good luck, and Pearl, do not eat too much Dubai chocolate before the fight. Okay,
Okay, okay.
don't I don't want to see you sitting in the corner and you're holding your stomach. I'm gonna know you ate too much Dubai chocolate.
Okay, that's a deal. That's a deal. And for you too, man, I watch a lot of your streams. You've interviewed a lot of boxers and athletes, like Kane Sandoval, like some of these guys, and that
Yeah,
I go to your interviews and I hear them, and I'm grateful for you because you help me tell the story for when I'm on the stream and I'm on the broadcast. And so I'm grateful for you, and man, keep doing your thing. And this is awesome.
I appreciate it. This is pretty much what like a dream. Like I never thought about having like a boxing. I've been watching sports all my boxing all my life. I come from like not a fighting family, but someone that's interested in sports. I wrestled. I've done things in the Marines. I've trained. I kickbox growing up a little bit. So like I've been around it. I've watched it all my life with my grandfather, and so like being able, and that's all I do at home. So when I got the opportunity to start the podcast, and then I got introduced to Tom and Mike and everybody through LA Icon and started going to fights. It's like, man, like this makes so much sense for me. And then especially my wife was like, "What are we doing this weekend?" Well, there's a fight, and she's like, and so now to be a part of it and then into interview fighters and then interview fighters I've got to like watch growing up. It's pretty cool, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
couldn't ask for anything else, you know.
And
And
it's
I
helping our community. It really is.
yeah
It's allowing these fighters to tell their story. They're very comfortable on your show. Again, they tell you things, and I'm like, well, when I ask questions, in
yeah
the commentary when I'm doing my interviews, it's like it was a good camp. And they don't give me much information, so
yeah.
it's my job to go and find things that I can help relate. And you do that. You definitely help the sport. So thank you very much.
I appreciate that. And yeah, and I like to. It's cool to interview the big fight, or if it get like a big fighter on here. But I like the upcoming fighters, and that's why I like going to 360, just because like to build a relationship and then get to tell their story before it gets lost in translation when they get too famous, you know. And 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 then also there's going to be something time stamped. So in 10 years from now, when Kane or when Trinidad are freaking unified champions. Like you can look back and like where they started and the training they had like back then is something pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they'll have that. That's even more
Yeah,
amazing that they'll be able to look back and see where they came from and what they've been through.
yeah, that's pretty cool. Man, appreciate you. Good luck. I'll be watching, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks for riding with me. Until next time, keep your hands up, keep your takes hot, and remember, only one king leaves the ring.
You're just a casual.